Hey there, YouTubers. All right, so Dave Noble here. As you can see over to the right here, have done a little more upgrading to the good old Dell Inspiron 3670. You'll see on the top there, and I'll grab the box so you guys can see it. I have installed this guy in it, okay? And whether you know it's a good idea or not, hey, this is going to help keep the temps down over the stock cooler. And this actually worked out. I'll have a video where I install this in case you want to see how it's done. This is, however you say that, a Korean company. They make their manufacture stuff in China for the most part. Coolstorm T405W. I'll hopefully have the link down below in case you want to follow my footsteps. Now, negative about this, before we get into the benchmarks and all the other stuff, you can't put this back on here, okay? So that's somewhat life if you want to have this kind of upgrade. Now there probably are some other ones out there that will work better if you want to close your case, but you know, in this case it does not work for that aspect. But I think you'll be pretty happy with the results. Now in that computer there's also an I7-9700f, all right, which is under the CPU cooler, and then we've got the PNY XLR8 GTX 1650, okay, stock PSU 290 watts, 16 gigs of RAM, and I have a Samsung EVO 970 Plus. All right, so let me shut the light off. Now we're going to go through a bunch of different benchmarks for y'all. Mainly I want you guys to see the temperatures this thing sees, and you can compare it to your CPU at home. Now whether you have an i5-8400 in it, i3-8100, maybe even i5-9400, or the i7-9700, you'll be able to see, do the same test and see what your temps get to. So we're going to do the benchmark in Intel's Extreme Tuning Utility, and down here it gives you the temp. So it shows a minimum. You guys won't be able to see this most likely. I'll try and take the cell phone off the mount. But the recent minimum was 26 degrees Celsius, so that is way cooler than I can ever remember seeing out of the Dell stock cooler. This also gives you a chance to look at the benchmark score and see how your system compares as we go through these different ones. So we got a score of 2569. You know, nothing super spectacular, but compared to, when I say that, I've got, 9th gen and 10th gen i7s and i9s, so that's, not the biggest score in the world, but compared to where we were, this is huge. Highest CPU temperature, 57 degrees. That is not bad, folks, running this benchmark, I'll tell you that. Now, down here, we're not, we didn't have any thermal throttling issues. Power limit throttling was a problem, and current EDP limit throttling. So probably nothing I can do with that with this setup, okay? You're kind of stuck with it. So you're going to lose some performance there. Now, let's let's reset this. We'll run Cinebench. Okay. I want to run Cinebench. And this will give you an idea. Once again, you can also run this to see how your CPU does. All right, folks, so not sure you can read it, but 2735. So I believe my my best there with either the 10th gen i7 or an i9 was somewhere over 5,000. So improvement. But let's check the temps. So it did see 56 degrees recently during that. Now we're going to run CPU user benchmark. We'll close this. And I guarantee you that score is a heck of a lot bigger than it was with the i5-8400. Alright, if I can find it. So this will take a little while. I'm going to pause. Well, unfortunately we didn't get an overall score here. 7% background CPU usage, but you do get some scoring for what the i5 did, performing as expected. So it's a little lower than 50%. Some of the scores, you know, could be affected by people that are changing the base clock speed, which would, you know, raise this i7 score. GTX 1650, you see that here. It is in the 61st percentile, so it's actually performing well. This is why we didn't get a score at the top. Our solid state drive did not score out for whatever reason. And then the RAM, so-so score there. But overall, you can see here Dell Inspiron 3670. Now, how does this compare? That is a good question, folks. I think I can check that down below somewhere. Yeah. This is a good way to see, you know, what the top dog is on here. So somebody has managed to get one of these to work with an RTX 2080 Super. Obviously that graphics card is too big to stick in here, unless there's a mini version that I haven't seen. And they have probably used a PCI ribbon extender. But you can see, you know, that they got a really good gaming score here. This thing, you know, would be rocking, no doubt. Somebody made a 5700 XT work with it, and they used an 8700K, which, you know, you can't overclock, so that's kind of a waste. Somebody made an i7-9700f and RTX 2070 Super work. Now that could have been me, because I have both of these, but I promise you that was not me. And GTX 1080. So a lot of creative people out there, some of which I'm surprised they've wasted their money putting that kind of effort into this. But hey, thanks for checking out the video. I hope you got something out of it. We went over a couple of benchmarks, and you know what? Maybe we're not done yet, folks. Let's see if we can pull up Fortnite. Let me pause this till I get it going. Alright, folks, so just so you can see settings, full screen, 1080p, low settings, and whatever reason I have DirectX 11 on, not 12, but let's go ahead and play this. And I will put on MSI Afterburner. And hopefully those of you that are watching this on a big screen will be able to actually see the numbers as I try and zoom in just a little bit more. So to rewind, i7-9700f, PNY XLR8, GTX 1650, Samsung EVO 970 Plus, 250 or 256 gigs. And then 16 gigs of RAM, 2666 megahertz. And I've got to change my setup up because I am right-handed here. I don't have a mouse pad, so we're probably not going to do too good. Alright, so let's get MSI Afterburner going. If all goes well, we'll have something on the screen. And voila. So, those of you that don't have a graphics card, you definitely are seeing improved graphics and FPS, obviously, because you're probably stuck with 720p low. Now, temperature-wise, 44 degrees Celsius, okay? I don't know if you guys can read this, but here's the temp of the CPU. I've seen it as low as 42, now 51. Here's the FPS average. It would be more beneficial if it was on the very bottom, but right now 179. Now, depending on your game style, wow, somebody's already on the ground over there. Okay, there's too many guys down there. Yeah, FPS 186, folks. Selecting our that's up to 191. So not bad, honestly. Now I'm watching this on a monitor that may or may not have we're almost out of ammo, folks. So yeah, I spent a lot of time playing this game, even though I'm just kind of screwing around right now, but 195. So, you know, depending on where you are on the board, obviously the FPS will go up. How much action you're seeing. Right now we're not seeing any action. Whoa. Man, you gotta learn how to shoot, buddy. It doesn't hurt that I got a big screen here to watch this game on. So, folks, I think we're going to wrap it up. I'll have another link down below. I'll try and record this using a capture card so you'll be able to see better detail of the game. But, you know, overall, I would expect, well, right now, average still going up. So it looks like the average is going to be, you know, 200 plus. Somebody in here shooting. Alright, well, that's going to do it, folks. Thanks for checking out the video. Please like, please subscribe.